Sam Okus, editor-in-chief of Nation's Restaurant News. I'm here with Andre Vener, the partner at Dog Haus. Andre, you guys have been killing it for the last couple of years with help from virtual brands, but also you have your beer garden, your premium hot dogs and burgers. Tell us a little bit about the concept and where you guys are at right now.
Yeah, well, Dog Haus is 11 years old now. We have dogs, burgers, sausages, plant-based, and hot Nashville chicken. We're currently in about 75 locations. 50 of those are the typical brick and mortars, and the other ones are like Live Nation special sites, concert venues, ghost kitchens, which is a big part of our business as well. So, and a couple years ago, we got into the ghost kitchen space and the virtual brand space, and it's almost 3 years now. So
yeah, I mean, what's incredible is you guys, the virtual brand trend really took off in the pandemic because by necessity, but
correct.
You guys were ahead of the trend. Before the pandemic, you had developed those. How did you see that coming? How did virtual brands get on your radar originally?
Well, we originally, what came first was the ghost kitchen model. So we happened to be neighbors with a company called Kitchen United. They're based out of Pasadena as well, and kind of funny story, but I was going to my daughter's first grade party, and there at the bar was this gentleman, Michael Montagano, and I said, "What do you do?" He's like, "I'm the CEO of Kitchen United." And I said, "Well, what's a Kitchen United? What's a ghost kitchen?" So we kind of looked into that, discovered that. Same time, our chef catered an event for Travis at Cloud Kitchen on the same month. And so we're like, okay, there must be something going on here. So since their first location was in Pasadena, we decided to try it out. And then we knew right away that a brand at our kind of mid-level size probably can't handle doing a ghost kitchen and be profitable only with one brand. So sure, Chick-fil-A could do that, not a problem, but somebody like us, we needed a little bit more support. So we decided to try some virtual brands, and we decided just to like make up a few things. And the reason why we did that was we realized that when people come into a Dog Haus, you'll see the menu board in the 5 different categories. But when people were ordering it, not one person was ordering a plant-based product, nobody was ordering a hot Nashville chicken sandwich because the search words on the third-party platform said dog, sausage, Americana.
Right.
And so it's like, it didn't match. So we decided to create these brands to represent each part of it. So our chicken category is, we have a company called Bad Mother Clucker.
Yeah.
So we made a company out of that, and then we started exploring with different daytime parts. So we have a company called Badass Breakfast Burritos that does very well in the morning, and here in Chicago, actually, they do a couple hundred burritos between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. So late night munchies, I guess, next to the school.
Jeez. Yeah, tell me about the success of the virtual brands with your franchisees in particular, because they've really embraced the virtual brands. How have you been able to really expand that virtual brand concept with help from your franchisees?
Well, I mean, the way that it worked originally was this one franchisee in Chicago was kind of struggling, and you know, Chicago is a hot dog town. He was struggling there. We said, hey, we got some ideas. We're working for ghost kitchens, but let's try them in your restaurant, and we'll call it a host kitchen. And you could do these delivery, you know, through the kitchen, you know, have the drivers come there and pick it up, and all of a sudden that took off. He did, his sales went up about 350%, and right now he's our #1 store, which was, he was on the bottom 3 stores, and now he's in the top store. And so what we realized is a lot of, each market has a different, the virtual brand concepts are, you know, way popular. Let's say Impossible Shop in California and New York compared to somewhere like Wyoming.
Right.
And then Badass Breakfast Burritos are blowing up in Texas, and they're blowing up in Chicago and different places. So,
you guys have also toyed with the idea of doing a host kitchen or a ghost kitchen in a market before you even moved there, right? Is that what you did in Austin, is that right?
So we did that to Austin. So there's a couple of situations. I'll say one example with Austin. We went there, we opened it up, we wanted to test the market, and then we could see, because typically a radius is like 5 miles for delivery. 3 is the ideal, but we'll go as far as 5. And we started seeing everyone's ordering from this part of that radius. So then you could go, okay, that crowd wants our brands. And so then we could go sign a 10-year lease there and build a brick and mortar. The other way that we do it is to go see if a market even likes us. So we went to San Francisco, for example, and we tested out there, and San Francisco just has their heart towards mom and pop stores, the one-offs. You go into like Little Italy there, or not Little Italy, North Beach, and they don't want to see a national chain there. So then we go, okay, let's not go to this market right now. So we could test the market for real estate, we could test it, and if it's successful, then we could also sell franchises, right? We open it up in Austin, it's successful, we know where to go, now we could sell a 10-unit deal to Austin, and it's easier than to have someone gamble on it. So
it's incredible. And tell me how this has changed your strategy for growth in terms of, has it changed the definition of what a dog house even can be as far as the footprint of it and the presence of it in a market?
Well, I mean, it's changing right away. I'm sure you know this more than me, but the on sale numbers aren't the same as they used to be. Our bars are packed, our volume is up, our sales are up, obviously, but not necessarily the amount of people coming in aren't always higher, but our delivery is taking a big portion of that. And so what we're doing now is a little bit bigger in the kitchens, a little bit smaller in the front of the house, really making sure we have an area for all the delivery and the pickups, and then making sure we have the right equipment to be able to handle essentially 2 restaurants. Yep. We've grown 34% since we started this, and so some of the things we have to redesign. And another good thing about the virtual brands is the franchisee, some of them have been with us for 10 years or 9 years, they already have their equipment. They can't do all the brands, so they'll pick and choose. They'll test out all the brands in the market and go, okay, I'll just do this one, and that's it.
Yeah. So many bells and whistles with the virtual digital innovation that's out there, but at the same time, you guys have an experience you've created with your beer garden vibe. Yeah. I'm curious, how do you find that balance with hospitality, and how much do you want to emphasize the in-person experience, because simultaneously, people do want to get out and have an experience?
I mean, it's the most important thing, because you could justify, you can't just right now keep raising prices, right? You have to raise prices for the labor, you have to raise it for construction costs, delays, kitchen equipment, impossible to get, food shortages, food, the price going up, everything's up, so you raise your prices. But, you have to justify it. There's a few brands out there that are making it up with hospitality, and I think that's the most important thing, because you could argue to sell a $12 burger, but if you don't give that customer service, you don't have that game on the TV, you don't have the vibe of the music late night, you're not cleaning the tables, touching the tables, why should they pay that much money for a burger?
Right. So segue into labor, how's that going for you guys? I mean, it's obviously been a pain for everybody, but...
I would say it sucks for us.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't, it really doesn't hurt us with our current stores. Somehow we've always treated, I think the most important thing for our brand is taking care of our staff. If you take care of our staff, then you take care of our customers. So many people skip the staff and take care of the customers and give them free promotions and all this stuff. We just take care of our staff. And so we haven't lost any staff. I don't want to say any, but we haven't lost staff at our stores. But where we're getting killed is when we're trying to open a new store.
Okay.
So we're opening 15 stores the second half of this year. And for example, in Houston, San Antonio, we've got stores that are built, ready to go, but it takes 40 employees for us to open a store, and we're having delays because we can't get bodies for that.
Wow.
And they don't know if this is going, what is this? So once it's up and running, it's easy, but to recruit new openings is a very hard, challenging thing.
Yeah.
So that's tough.
Do you look for ways that you can cut that number down below 40? I mean, can you find technologies, efficiencies to help you in that regard?
Yeah, I mean, one way to do it too, and I should say the number 40 is because we always think that 10 people will drop off, right? They just won't like the job. But I think one way that we could do that is just really make sure our hiring's, the right people, and do a little bit more of a training process, and not like we stopped doing free house dog day. We used to open, have 2,000 people come, and it would just crush us.
Yeah.
And not crush us. Marketing team was happy, line out the door. TVs are there, the camera crews are there, but then the people would quit. They're like, we just worked 12 hours, we're getting killed, this isn't fun. So now we do delay kind of openings, grand openings, and we do the free house dog day a month later on that.
Okay.
But we are looking at technology to kind of help it, right? So whether that be a kiosk for ordering, we have that. We have some of the tech. We're changing like our bar program. Some of the stuff is prepped ahead of time, right? So it's not so labor intensive. It's more, you still have the same 6 ingredients, let's say for fun, an old fashioned needs these 6 ingredients in it. So we'll have those pre-batched so that you can have one bartender grab the spirit and the batch, put it together, nice glassware, nice garnish, take care of the customer service, but not have 3 bartenders there with their backs to them. So we do have to make things easier. We also need to, we're kind of making the menu a little bit smaller and tighter. I think that's our biggest thing that we're working on right now is the menu development.
What do you think what's the reaction from customers with some of those things? Because obviously people are raising menu prices or cutting back on menus. There have been a lot of changes to folks' favorite restaurants, but the gist I'm getting is that customers have so far gone along with it. Are you finding the same? Or
we have had our sales have not gone down.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have customers don't seem to have a problem with it. You just need to give them that extra service, number one. And number two is you have to, like I said, what we're working on is look at your menu and change it. And how do we change it? You know, it's a very important thing right now that we're actually addressing this. Hago, my business partner, said, hey, when you get back from this conference, because everything's going down, we can't ignore what's going on in the stock market.
Yeah.
You can't ignore what's going on overseas in the war. You can't ignore this stuff. So what are we going to do differently? So we're actually whiteboarding our menu and really looking at what can we do to save it. Because if we don't react right away, we're going to be, restaurants are going to get hit hard.
Yeah.
And I think we are ahead of the game with the pandemic, with the virtual brands. And because of that, we pivoted, we were successful on it, and it paid off. We are having that same vibe right now that if we don't do some serious changes, then we're going to get killed. Because you can't just have a $10, hamburger, a hot dog. At some point, it's got to stop. So, I'm not saying we're going to do it like, I think I just went to this one panel, like, I think Doritos took like exactly 6 chips out of all their bags, right? And so like the little to-go family bags, it's like, you could do that. So do we use a medium-sized egg instead of a large egg? Can you use bacon ends, which is same quality, than the whole nice piece of bacon that you'd want at a breakfast diner? But why do you have to pay for that? It's double the price to have the full piece of bacon. Why not get the bacon ends and put a burger, and same amount, same quality, same everything, but that way you could save 25 cents, and then that way, it saves $1 for the customer. So I think you can't just raise prices, and you can't just cut your staff. You have to give the service, and you have to put an effort into lowering the price of your food.
Right. Let's say we do go into a recession as everybody expects. Part of me wonders if, fast casual boomed out of the last one.
We started, so as you may know, I owned a Jazz Club Steakhouse, fine dining, 300 different bottles of wine, and 0809 happened, and I lost my ass last year.
Yeah.
I was always profitable, but then everything stopped. No house accounts, no $75 tomahawks and $300 bottles of wine. A recession hit. Company corporate cards stopped.
Yeah.
So we started a company called Dog Haus 11 years ago. And so recession for us, when you give high quality ingredients that people want to have, some of the, let's say, steakhouses, which I was before, we're going to pick up all those customers because now they got to feed a family of 4, and they're like, we're not going out to this steakhouse today because it's a recession. And I think there's going to be a lot of catering events that people are going to do for their company offices versus going out to the big company dinners. So I'm actually, if we play our cards right, excited for the recession, just like we were for the pandemic.
I was going to say the trade down could be a good thing for fast casual QSR, not great for full service. What can you do? What should folks do now to prepare for a recession? I mean, you're talking about, tinkering with your menu. Do you have to just kind of look around the edges to find ways to sort of buckle down?
I think first you got to fight for it, right? Yeah. I mean, listen, we all got through it. The restaurants got through it during the pandemic. It wasn't anything that was easy, but we all fought through it, and I think we're all going to come out of this well. And I just don't, after that first week of drinking every night when the pandemic happened, and realizing, shit, I got to go back to work and I got to save this business.
Right.
And watching our franchisees lose 40% in the first month, shutting down all the bars, that was scary.
Yeah.
But we came out of it right away, and I think right now with people, what can I give advice for that? Start now, because you have to assume we're going that direction. So whether it's financing for, we wrapped up all of our deals with our finance companies for franchisees so that they're strong to be able to build and construction and get the loans. Working with the menu, keeping your staff, right? Rewarding them. Training staff for turnover is a disaster.
Yeah.
Just give them that extra few bucks and say thank you to them and appreciate them instead of having them, burn and turn and doing 2 weeks of training. All you have to do is do the math twice on 2 weeks of training. If someone quits twice a year, different people, that's 4 weeks. That's a lot of money. That's way more money than it is giving somebody $20 an hour.
Right.
So, and I think if you do that, it's the right way to do it. And I think you need to also take advantage of when you're doing like us, so much development with the real estate. You need to lock in your contracts with the landlords and say, if we get into something bad, we need rent relief. We need to be able to pay percentage rent on audible if we want. We want to, if the dining rooms get shut down, that's a pandemic thing, we were able to pay half rent. So all those kinds of things you want to do and be able to just prepare for it.
Yeah.
I think address it, because what happens if it doesn't happen, no recession, then just keep working.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I say don't be lazy and address it now.
That's good. Andre, last question for you. What's the opportunity ahead for Dog Haus? You're franchising, you're growing. What are you looking forward to for this business in the coming months and years?
Yeah, right now it's going to be development for us. We're excited to we're opening another 15 locations the second half of this year. We just sold out, all of Maryland to a franchisee who's developing there. We're starting to make a lot of deals. I think we just got another award. It was the best franchise to buy of the year, and I think that's because our AUVs are so high. They grew 34%, like I said, since the pandemic. We're working hard to keep down the construction costs and the food costs, and we're doing everything we can to help these franchisees grow their business. So I'd say as far as anybody who's looking to franchise, that's something we're feeling very proud of. Back in the day, we were half corporate stores, half kind of franchising. Mm-hmm. Now we're only a franchise business. We've got, of course, our 2 locations for training. But just looking forward to a big year of opening stores and selling some franchises. And I think I know the buzz about us with the virtual brands is something that a lot of people are interested in. So
yeah. Exciting to watch, excited to see what comes next for Dog Haus. Andre Vener, partner with Dog Haus, thank you so much for joining today.
Thanks, man.